In the heart of a conflict that has endured for generations, a pivotal leader's mysterious demise not only sent shockwaves across the globe, but may have redefined the path of history in the Middle East. Join us on a journey as we unravel the enigma surrounding Yasser Arafat's untimely passing, set against the relentless backdrop of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. From secret poisons to political betrayals, we delve into the intricate tapestry of theories that have surfaced over the years, each shedding light on the complex narrative of Arafat's final days. But that's not all. Stick with us until the very end, for a revelation that may challenge everything you thought you knew about his death. This shocking twist suggests that Arafat's departure from this world might not have been as it seemed, leaving us to ponder how this enigma resonates with the enduring turbulence of the region, where history and mystery intersect in a gripping tale of power, politics, and uncertainty. Conflict background. To fully grasp the significance of Arafat's death, we need to look at the land steeped in centuries of history and decades of turmoil. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict, a struggle between two self-determination movements, has been marked by periods of intense violence, shifting borders, and endless quests for peace. In the ancient heartland of the Middle East, the roots of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict run deep, with both Jews and Arabs claiming historical ties to the region. A complex narrative unfolds from the time of the Ottoman Empire and the subsequent British Mandate in Palestine, where the seeds of discord were sown. The defining moment came post-World War II when the United Nations proposed a partition plan in 1947, carving out a homeland for Jews and Arabs. The result, the creation of Israel in 1948, a jubilant moment for the Jewish population but a catastrophe for Palestinians, marking the beginning of their displacement, known as the Nakba. As the young state of Israel took its first breaths, the region plunged into the First Arab-Israeli War, a sign of the tensions that would dominate the decades to come. The Suez Crisis in 1956 and the Six-Day War in 1967 further exacerbated these tensions, leading to the Yom Kippur War in 1973. The conflict seemed intractable, but the Camp David Accords of 1978 brought hope as Egypt became the first Arab nation to recognize Israel's right to exist, leading to a peace treaty. Still, the Palestinian question remained unresolved, and two intifadas, or uprisings, in 1987 and 2000 symbolized the frustration and resistance among the Palestinian population. The Oslo Accords in 1993 initiated a peace process, but negotiations stumbled and the region remained in turmoil. The Camp David Summit in 2000, which sought to address the core issues of the conflict, ended without a resolution. In 2007, the Annapolis Conference was another attempt at peace, but it failed to produce lasting results. International and regional actors have consistently sought to broker peace, but the fundamental issues at the heart of the conflict have proven intransigent. The Gaza Strip and the West Bank, both under Israeli occupation, are pivotal territories in this conflict. The Gaza Strip, home to the militant group Hamas, has seen waves of violence and Israeli military operations, including the disengagement plan in 2005. In the West Bank, Israeli settlements continue to expand, presenting a formidable barrier to peace, while the Palestinian Authority struggles to assert control. The status of Jerusalem, a city sacred to Jews, Muslims, and Christians, remains a flashpoint, with both Israelis and Palestinians claiming it as their capital. The right of Palestinian refugees to return to their ancestral homes remains a deeply contentious issue. International involvement has been a constant backdrop to this saga. The United States, often seen as a key mediator, has played a crucial role in peace efforts, with varying degrees of success. The United Nations has passed numerous resolutions, while regional actors, such as Egypt and Jordan, have engaged in their own peace initiatives. Today, the Israeli-Palestinian conflict remains unresolved, with intermittent bouts of violence and simmering tension. In the heart of this contention was Yasser Arafat, a man considered a freedom fighter by some and a terrorist by others, leading the charge for Palestinian statehood. His role was so significant that his sudden death raised an important question: could it have been part of a larger narrative in the conflict? Arafat's role. Yasser Arafat stood as a symbol of resistance and a key player in the Palestinian liberation movement, involved in both diplomatic and armed struggles. His leadership was as contentious as it was iconic, influencing the geopolitics of the Middle East. Born in Cairo in 1929, he embraced Arab nationalist and anti-Zionist views as a student. He fought against the creation of Israel during the 1948 Arab-Israeli War, then returned to Egypt where he led the General Union of Palestinian Students from 1952 to 1956. In the late 1950s, Arafat co-founded Fatah, a paramilitary group seeking to destroy Israel and establish a Palestinian state in its place. Throughout the 1960s, Fatah launched attacks into Israel from refugee camps in Jordan, Lebanon, and Syria, prompting Israeli retaliation. Arafat rose to prominence after the 1967 Six-Day War, when Arab forces were defeated by Israel. He joined the PLO in 1967 and was elected its chairman in 1969. As PLO leader, Arafat engaged in a decades-long armed struggle against Israel. Palestinian militants carried out airplane hijackings, suicide bombings, and other attacks targeting Israeli civilians. Israel responded with airstrikes and invasions of Lebanon to root out PLO bases. The violence peaked during the 1982 Lebanon War. That year, Arafat was forced to withdraw PLO fighters from Beirut to Tunisia under a ceasefire brokered by the US and other nations. In 1988, Arafat publicly renounced terrorism and recognized Israel's right to exist. This shift from confrontation to negotiation led to the 1993 Oslo Accords, in which Arafat and Israeli leaders Yitzhak Rabin and Shimon Peres agreed to Palestinian self-rule in the West Bank and Gaza. Arafat returned to Gaza in 1994 to lead the new Palestinian Authority. But Oslo's promise of peace was shattered by continuing violence and failure to reach a final status agreement. Amid the 2000 Camp David summit collapse and the ensuing Second Intifada, Arafat was confined by Israel to his Ramallah compound, where he remained until close to his death in 2004. To many Palestinians, Arafat was a revolutionary hero who fought for their national rights. But to Israelis, he was a terrorist responsible for decades of bloody attacks. Arafat's commitment to the peace process remains debated. His legacy is monumental yet highly controversial. Even in death, Arafat's role in the ongoing conflict continues to loom large. Now, imagine the shockwaves sent across the globe when news broke that he had fallen mysteriously ill and died. The question on everyone's lips wasn't just how, but also why now. Amidst ongoing strife, could someone have had a vested interest in his death? The theories: was it natural, an unfortunate illness, or was there foul play involved, a strategic move in this chessboard of warfare and diplomacy? In the annals of history, few mysteries loom as large as the enigmatic death of Yasser Arafat. Arafat's demise in 2004 has fueled endless speculation and intrigue, with a myriad of theories emerging to explain what truly happened in those final moments. As we delve into these perplexing theories, it becomes evident that his passing not only serves as a captivating historical enigma but also holds the power to shake the very foundations of the ongoing Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Each theory offers a unique lens through which we can view the geopolitical implications of Arafat's potential fate. 1. Natural death due to age or related illnesses. At first glance, this theory seems improbable for a prominent and relatively healthy leader like Arafat. However, even the most iconic figures are not immune to the inevitable march of time. While the suddenness of his decline and the lack of a clear medical diagnosis make this possibility seem unlikely, age-related health issues cannot be entirely ruled out. In the grand theater of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, Arafat's natural death would have removed a charismatic figurehead from the Palestinian side, potentially altering the dynamics of negotiations and the fragile unity among Palestinians. 2. Cancer. As whispers of cancer emerged to explain Arafat's rapid health deterioration, the intrigue deepened. However, there were no typical indicators of cancer, such as known tumors or relevant symptoms, and no official medical reports confirming this theory. Had cancer been the culprit, it would have undoubtedly complicated the peace process and triggered a leadership vacuum in the Palestinian territories, potentially reshaping the conflict's trajectory. 3. AIDS. The theory that Arafat may have suffered from AIDS is cloaked in circumstantial evidence and vehement denials from his close associates and medical staff. Despite these claims, there's a significant lack of documented medical evidence, rendering this theory tenuous at best. 4. Political assassination without poisoning. This theory suggests that Arafat might have been the target of assassination for political reasons, but through means that left no detectable traces. It's a theory shrouded in the geopolitical climate and the historical record of political leaders falling prey to such sinister plots. Nevertheless, without any concrete evidence, it remains in the realm of speculation. If indeed true, it would have not only escalated tensions but could have derailed peace efforts, casting a shadow over the possibility of reconciliation. 5. Cirrhosis. Cirrhosis, a liver disease, also found its way into the constellation of theories based on some of Arafat's symptoms, such as jaundice. Yet, this theory lacks concrete medical backing through diagnostic reports or a known history of long-term liver issues. In the landscape of the conflict, if cirrhosis had played a role, it might have raised questions about Arafat's lifestyle and overall health, although its impact would likely have been limited. 6. Undiagnosed health issues. The vague notion that Arafat may have suffered from undisclosed medical conditions is propped up by the secrecy shrouding his health status. The revelation of undisclosed health issues post-mortem could have raised concerns about the transparency of Palestinian leadership, adding another layer of complexity to the already intricate peace process. 7. Exposure to environmental toxins. Given Arafat's life, which often unfolded in the crucible of conflict zones, it is plausible that long-term exposure to environmental toxins could have adversely affected his health. However, this theory lacks direct evidence, such as toxicology reports or identification of the specific toxins in question. In the larger geopolitical picture, if proven true, it would underline the health risks faced by individuals immersed in the midst of the conflict, painting a stark portrait of the dangers inherent in their struggle. 8. Other forms of poisoning. Beyond the shadow of polonium-210, there have been suggestions that Arafat may have been poisoned through alternative substances, ones that dissipate quickly or are challenging to trace. These speculations arise from the sudden onset of his illness and the historical backdrop of political poisonings. If substantiated, this theory could carry monumental political ramifications, igniting questions about responsibility and potentially inflaming regional tensions. 9. Natural infections. The theory posits that an unidentified viral or bacterial infection could have been the root cause of Arafat's rapid decline. The medical team's inability to identify any pathogen despite comprehensive testing makes this both plausible and puzzling. In the framework of the conflict, it would have intensified concerns about healthcare and public health infrastructure in the Palestinian territory, emphasizing the need for medical advancements in an already beleaguered region. 10. Polonium poisoning. The most publicized theory is undoubtedly the specter of polonium-210 poisoning, marked by elevated levels of this rare and highly radioactive substance found on Arafat's personal belongings and biological samples. Nonetheless, subsequent testing on his remains produced inconclusive or conflicting results, preventing the definitive confirmation of this theory. The validation of this theory could have far-reaching implications, unleashing international outrage and potentially impacting the trajectory of peace negotiations. The death of Yasser Arafat remains a riddle cloaked in uncertainty, with each theory contributing its unique shade of intrigue to the narrative. Beyond being a historical enigma, it possesses the power to sway the fragile equilibrium of the ongoing Israeli-Palestinian conflict. In this complex and ever-evolving geopolitical terrain, the unresolved mystery of Arafat's death adds yet another layer of complexity and enigma, perpetually shadowing the path to peace and stability. What's your take on these theories? How do you see Arafat's death in relation to the persistent turmoil in the region? Dive into the conversation in the comments below. Each theory offers a unique perspective on the puzzle, interwoven with varying degrees of plausibility, ambiguity, and potential far-reaching consequences. As we navigated these theories, from natural causes to insidious poisoning, the complex web of Arafat's life and the conflicts he shaped came into sharp relief. In a region where peace hangs by a thread, the mysterious death of Yasser Arafat remains one of its most enigmatic occurrences. Whether his death was a natural occurrence or an elaborate plot, it undeniably marked a turning point in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. But as each theory peels back a layer of this intricate mystery, we're left wondering if the final piece of this puzzle could be the key to understanding not just his death, but also the future of the entire region.